Hello, my name's Alan Gibson. I do a lot of fly fishing at Golden Loch and a few rivers as well. I'd like to show you just a few of the materials I use for fly tying and how much they cost. It's not an expensive hobby, actually it's a very cheap hobby. Plus all the flies you can use. So I'll just run through a few of the things that I use. This is a vise, it's called a side lever vise. It's also rotatable, so you can turn it over, work on flies from underneath. This one's table mounted. You get ones that are on a pedestal. This vise cost about £18 a few years ago. I think they're still the same price now actually. Another important thing is my light. Here we go. This is a rechargeable one. It costs about £65. You can get exactly the same light powered off the mains for £20, and that's about the two most expensive things layout that you've got. The other things here are tools you use for tying flies, pair of tweezers for picking up small hooks, pair of fine pointed scissors. These range from about £8 to about £30. A whip finish tool, just basically for finishing off flies. This cork thing here is called a dubber needle. All it is a darning needle pushed into a cork and glued. Next we've got hackle pliers. These are £2. I've had these 30 years. Still work as good as the day I've got them. Next thing I've got here is a pair of heavy duty scissors for cutting wires. And the last thing I've got is a bobbin threader. So if you break a thread you can rethread your bobbin in seconds. All these tools, apart from the fine scissors, all cost about between £2.50, £3 each. Other thing I'd like to show you is a selection of bobbins and threads called silks. The bobbins themselves, there we go, cost roughly about £3 each. The bobbins that's in them, I've got 200 yards of wax thread. The reason I've got so many of them is just so if I want to change colours or different sizes of thread, I can do so without having to faff about with it. We'll go on to some of the materials. Here we go. This is what's called a hare's mask, or a hare's face, used for tying hare's lugs obviously. Plus you can use the fur, cut the fur up really small, use it as dubbing. This is a peacock herring, used for dialbacks and various different bodies of flies. Again, that's £2, there's probably 200 fibres in that. Then you've got hackles. You can buy them in a bag if you wish. That's £2.50 for a big bag. Then we've got pheasant tail feathers. This is a cock, this is a hen. They're differently marked. Use them for pheasant tail flies, tails for various other flies. Then we've got tinsel. This cost me £1. I use that for rubbing bodies and putting in tails just for an added sparkle. Then we've got this, which is a squirrel skin or a squirrel pelt, natural colour. Use that for tails and dubbing bodies. This is what you call a cape. This is quite a good quality cape. The reason I buy these instead of the packets of hackles is the feathers graduate from very small for very small flies right through bigger ones, bigger at the top, so you can tie a variety of sizes of fly. This other thing here is a packet of knotted pheasant tail legs. You can knot them yourself, but I think it's rather boring. This packet costs £5. There's a whole feather in there. There must be about, well, what, 300 or 400 legs on that for tying hoppers, daddies, etc. This is marabou, which is actually turkey feather dyed. Originally came from the marabou bird of South Africa, but when they started getting rare, you weren't allowed to shoot them anymore. This is another cape. This is an Indian cape. This costs £5. Very cheap. I keep most of my stuff in this wee box. My son bought it from Lidl's a few years ago for, I think it was about £3. Plenty of storage in that. if I can shut it. In the top I've got a compartment. I keep all my spare spools of thread in there, and that's about it. That's all there is, all you need. And you don't need a lot of this material. When you first start, you buy the material that you want to tie whatever fly you want, and that's it. And then it's quite easy after that. I'll show you a selection of flies that I've tied in the last month. Starting at the end, we've got a wee pheasant tail, and then a snatcher, and then a green hollow dial back, and then a green hollow dial back with an orange head, a hare's lug, a red tag, and a natural hopper. Then at the back, I'll get this into focus, we've got a size 16 dial back, with a red bead, a buzzer, an F-fly, a small pheasant tail that I tied myself to my own pattern, a normal pheasant tail, and then a bibio. And then on this other block we've got a saltwater fly or a pike fly, very easy to tie. That took like about 5 minutes. Then we've got a blob for Betty, and then behind that we've got another small dial back, a small dry that I use. Somebody's asked me to tie for them. Then another snatcher, and then a snatcher with a green pearly body. What do you call this? Trying to think. Cat's whisker with a Fritz body, gold head. We'll turn the block around again. You got an F-fly. Sorry, you've got a parachute Adams, a parachute buzzer, a hackled pheasant tail, another wee one there. That's just a making up pattern of my own. Then you've got a deer hair fly used for carp. Again, another wee wet fly of my own design, and a small hare's ear. All the small flies are tied on size 16 hooks. The hooks themselves, I buy boxes of 100. I use Camasan hooks. I find they're good quality. A box of 100 will cost you £6. You can get cheaper hooks. You could buy 100 of somebody else's brand for about £4. And that's it really. That's all that's involved in the material side of things. And like I say, all the materials I've got them over a period of time. I haven't just gone out and bought all these things at once. If you'd like to learn how to tie flies, it's quite easy. It's just practice. It's the same as casting and all the rest of it. Once you learn how to manipulate materials, there's nothing you can't tie. You're not restricted to tying certain patterns. You can tie your own flies. Make up your own flies. Give them a shot. If they don't work, they don't work. You only tie up a couple at a time. And where they don't work one place, they'll probably work somewhere else. John's kindly agreed to let us use the fishing hut. Come along, get in touch with John, he'll get in touch with me, we'll go from there. I'll bring all the stuff along so you can have a look at it, tie a couple of flies, let you have a go and tie a couple of flies yourself, and then we'll go from there. This is Alan Gibson, the Golden Lock. Thanks very much for your time. Bye.